Have you ever woken up early on a calm day and even before getting out of bed, felt a restlessness, as if something inside you wasn't where it should be? A soft but persistent doubt floating in the air. Am I living in a way that makes sense to me? Maybe it's not about where you are, but about how you feel inside. A quiet discomfort, as if something within you is waiting to be noticed, to be heard. It's not a loud urgency, but a longing for yourself, for a life with more meaning, more presence. It's common to ignore this calling. Life demands haste. There are bills to pay, appointments to keep, and the clock waits for no one. But inside each of us, there's a small voice, subtle, almost shy, that insists on reminding us who we are. It's not a voice that yells or demands. It merely suggests gently that there may be another path, a path more truthful, more ours. Sometimes, all this voice needs is silence to be heard, a pause amid the noise of the world. Some call this purpose, others meaning. Some can't even name it, but they feel it. It's that sense of being out of place. Even when everything looks right on the outside, we work, produce, interact, but there's an emptiness that nothing external seems to fill. The old proverb says, "Still waters run deep." And perhaps it is in this silent dive into ourselves that the answers begin to surface. Because many times, the true answer doesn't lie in changing the world around us, but in changing how we relate to it. There's no rush to figure it out. Haste is the enemy of clarity. When we allow ourselves to be present with our doubts, they slowly stop being threats and become guides. Each discomfort has something to tell us. Each dissatisfaction carries seeds of direction. But to hear them, we need stillness, patience, acceptance. Wisdom rarely screams, it whispers. And it whispers only to those who choose to listen with an open heart. We won't always have courage from the start. Change is scary. Letting go of the familiar, even if painful, is frightening. The mind tries to convince us to stay as we are. At least here it's safe, it says. But safe for whom? For the soul, or for the patterns we were taught to follow. Sometimes the comfort zone is just a place where the soul hides not to face what it truly desires. At some point, we all come face to face with fear. The butterflies in the stomach, the doubt, the sense of standing on the edge of an abyss. But the heart knows. It recognizes a direction, even when the feet still tremble. And it's in this space between fear and desire that transformation happens. A transformation that doesn't require grand gestures, just small, consistent, honest steps. A gentler look at oneself. A whispered yes in the dark. If you're enjoying this reflection so far, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. That way, you help this content reach more people who also need a moment of pause and reconnection with themselves. I remember a time when everything seemed in order. The job, the routine, the plans. But inside, there was too much silence. A heavy, muffled silence. That's when I realized that living wasn't just about reaching goals. It was about feeling alive. And truly living is an act of courage, because living demands presence, and presence demands surrender, even when there are no guarantees. Courage, by the way, is not the absence of fear. It's walking alongside it. It's saying yes to what calls us, even if we don't quite know where it will lead. As the proverb goes, those who plant date palms do not harvest date palms, because some choices are seeds planted for the future. And even if we don't see the fruits right away, planting is already an act of hope. a silent declaration of faith in life. In times of doubt, it's important to remember that everything has its time. Nature doesn't rush its cycles. Flowers don't bloom before their time. And we, as part of nature, also have our own rhythms. Comparing our journey with others is unfair and cruel. Everyone walks with what they have, at the pace they can, and accepting this is a relief, because it allows us to rest in the process, to stop chasing ready-made answers and trust that, in time, the right questions will bring clarity. Until then, it's okay not to know. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be tired. It's okay to pause. Because even in the pause, there is movement. Even in silence, there is gestation. And even the harshest winter eventually ends in spring. Sometimes, it is precisely in exhaustion that we find wisdom. When we stop fighting against the current and allow ourselves to float, we begin to see more clearly. What once seemed impossible starts to feel within reach. What seemed distant begins to draw closer, because in surrendering, we create space for the new to enter. The new often arrives gently. It comes like a breeze, like a light thought, a new desire, a wish to begin again without rushing. And the new often comes from within, from silence, from listening, from the time we dedicate to ourselves. There are no shortcuts for this. It's a slow, delicate process, but profoundly transformative. Every act of self-care is a step toward your center. Every choice based on feeling, rather than obligation, is a way to honor your existence. A cup of coffee enjoyed slowly. A yes to what was once denied. A no spoken with firmness and love. We're used to searching outside. We seek answers, validation, recognition. But what if everything we're looking for is already inside? What if all we need to do is stop and listen? Perhaps in the space of listening, we'll discover a new way of living. A life that's lighter, more connected, more truthful, more ours. If this content is resonating with you, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps us keep this exchange alive and continue creating reflections like this one for you and others. Change often starts small. A conversation, a notebook, a recurring thought, a feeling that insists. And little by little, we begin to open up, like someone opening a window in the morning and letting the sun in, even if shyly, because there's light inside us too. We just need to let it shine. Even if it seems faint at first, the inner light grows with care, with listening, with time. Allow yourself to slow down. Breathe deeply. Pay attention to the sound of your own thoughts. There is richness in living slowly, in savoring the simple moments, like the breeze on your skin or the smell of coffee in the morning. In times when everything demands urgency, finding beauty in the ordinary is an act of resistance, of reunion. Sometimes the answer lies in changing the question. Instead of where should I go, try, how do I want to feel along the way? When the focus shifts from the destination to the experience of the journey, anxiety gives way to curiosity, and the path, even uncertain, begins to make sense. What you love might be hidden in the details of your day, in something that once brought you joy but got lost in the rush. Bringing that back, no matter how small it seems, can rekindle flame, a reminder of who you are, and that it's always time to begin again. And when it feels like no one understands what you're feeling, remember that there is an invisible thread connecting all sensitive souls. You are not alone. Many walk beside you, even in silence, sharing your journey, even through small gestures, can open doors to sincere connections, and these connections heal. Welcoming yourself is the first step. Welcoming without judgment, without demanding to be more than you are today, because the now is already sacred, already enough. The care for the present is the soil where the future blooms. Don't rush. Honor your time, your story, your steps. And when the weight feels too heavy, pause. Not as someone giving up, but as someone who breathes before continuing. Because even the strongest of winds need stillness to find its way again. And you, with everything you are, deserve that moment. You don't need to have all the answers right now, nor know what your next step will be. It's enough to be present, to feel what you feel, to honor your story with all its curves, pauses, and new beginnings, and to move forward, one day at a time, one choice at a time, with lightness, with truth, with love, and above all, with patience. If this video touched you in any way, take a look at the other content on the channel. Each video is an invitation to listen, to reconnect, and to rediscover hope. See you in the next one.